Hello everyone, I am the Negative Magikarp, and today we're going to continue the series on Focus. Focus in the Pokemon trading card game, particularly in Standard. Now, this deck is focused on one idea. All these decks are kind of focused on one idea. This one focuses on this Weezing. More specifically, this attack, Smog Burst. Says this attack does 20 more damage for each dark energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So what this means is, if I have 2 dark energy to power this attack does 60 damage. If I have 10 total energy across all of my Pokemon, in this case 2 on this Weezing, and 8 across anything else, then I'm doing 220 damage. Now, that's a good amount of damage, but 10 energy, that's hard to get to. And so, that's where this Galarian Weezing comes into play. Each basic dark energy attached to your Pokemon that have Weezing in their name provide 2 dark energy. This is almost exactly like the Charizard that we talked about from Pokemon Go, except for this only applies to Weezing, and it's only dark energy. Now, because Weezing and Galarian Weezing are 2 different names, we can have 4 copies of each. We're running 1 copy of this Galarian Weezing because the neutralizing gas is just really annoying. It's really good, and if I can manage to stall my opponent for a while with this, it's almost always worth it. But the problem is, we're running 8 copies of Weezing and only 4 copies of Coughing. So how are we going to make this work? The answer to that is Zoroark. Zoroark has an ability, Phantom Transformation, that says once during your turn, I may choose a Stage 1 Pokemon except for any Zoroark in my discard pile. In this case, we're probably going to choose a Weezing. And if we do, we discard this Pokemon and all attached cards and put the chosen Pokemon into its place. Now, the cool thing is, because Galarian Weezing doubles up all of the Dark Energy, this only takes 1 Dark Energy to use. And so with a total of 5 Dark Energy, 1 on this one, and 4 across all my other Weezing, that's the 220 damage right there. Now we do have to jump through some hoops to make this work. Number 1, getting the dark energy out as fast as possible. Luckily we have the Dark Patch. Dark Patch allows us to attach a basic dark energy card from our discard pile to one of our benched Pokemon. So this means if we can discard a bunch of darkness energies, we can use the Dark Patch to get them back out. I should be running 4 Dark Patch, but for some reason in this deck I'm only running 3. Actually, let's switch that up. Because Dark Patch is really good and is necessary for this deck to run well. I'm going to remove an Irida because Irida is in here pretty much only to find the Radiant Greninja, and there are other ways to do that. But she finds me a Radiant Greninja and a Dark Patch. It's a really good card. But the Dark Patch itself is kind of better. If I can accelerate, if I get any number of these Dark Patch, then by the time I'm able to attack, if I attach 1 energy, 2 energy, and by some miracle get the Galarian Moltres to get an energy as well, that's 20 plus 40, which is 60, plus 40, which is 100, plus 20, which is 120 damage for just those 3 energies. If my math is correct, which I think it is. So, that's just with no Dark Patches. If we get any Dark Patches, that makes this so much more consistent. But we're just focusing on the one thing. There's not a lot of utility Pokemon, there's no Crobat, there's no Lumineon, just the Radiant Greninja, and focus on this Galarian Weezing. 12 Darkness Energy, and a random assortment of semi-random. Training Cord allows us to get energies back. Ultra Balls allows us to both discard cards, so we can get them back with the Zoroark if we need. Experience Share is to conserve the Darkness Energies, because once one of our Weezing gets knocked out, we kind of want to keep that Dark Energy in play so we can keep attacking. Tempo, which is an odd term to use. It is a musical term, but in card games, Tempo tempo is hitting the benchmarks that your deck requires at the right time. In this case, for this deck, it's getting 2 of those Weezing out by turn 2 and hopefully hitting for at least something. It's not lofty goals, but it's still, if our opponent can disrupt our tempo and stop us from doing that, or if our deck stops us from doing that, then our opponent has the advantage. If we can stop our opponent from getting their board state online in time, then we have the advantage. Kind of for the example now. Oh, we're playing a Galarian deck. The next couple of videos will be about those league battle decks, but I think I need to build them first. I might have already built them, but we'll do a how-to on how to play these, the lines, the tempo that you need to be going for. Line is a term that means in what order are we playing our cards. This is pretty good. Our opponent starts with the Crobat, so they don't get use of it, but they're playing Arceus, and Arceus with the Ice Rider is, I think it's kind of deadly. So we got a Quick Ball. If we Quick Ball away a Dark Energy, we have Dark Energy in the discard pile, ready for the Dark Patch. I'm getting the Greninjas for more card draw. The boss's orders is not that useful to us right now, and I would rather discard it and find a research or something if I could. But this is not terrible. This does get us our Weezing. This does get us the other Weezing if we get lucky. But for now, assume all things going well, I'm assuming that going well for him, I'm assuming he's going to have the V-Star, he's going to be able to retreat this with an air balloon, and then he's going to attack and knock out our Coughing. And if that happens, the Evolution Instance gets the V-Star. The V-Star searches for the air balloon, which allows free retreat, and I'm guessing a Quick Ball, so he can find his Ice Rider. So he evolves with this, uses the V-Star ability, which lets him search for 2 cards. Those 2 cards probably the Ice Rider and an air balloon, because his line, what his line is, he needs to get this thing online to use Trinity Nova to power up his Ice Rider. And that's the strategy of this person's deck. And they were disrupted. Their tempo was disrupted by their deck because they started with the Crobat. But because they have some redundancy in their deck, they're... Oh, boss's orders. Wait, really? I would have gone... Because he doesn't have to show me what he found. The switch works as an air balloon, and the Ice Rider onto the bench means he can power it up with the Trinity Nova. But he doesn't have the Ice Rider on the bench. That's quite interesting. So the Greninja's gone. There's our draw power. But he didn't really disrupt our tempo. He did take a prize card. But assuming I draw a research or something, I should be able to attack. Air balloon. That's not great. Considering we don't have a Weezing in the discard pile, this game did not go well. So I think the best bet is to confuse our opponent and try to stall them out, mess with their tempo a little bit, because there's still hope in this game. Mix in Toxin, makes him confused, and I put a Dark Energy onto this Pokemon. It's not great, but it is an effective way to stall. He now has a 50-50 chance of missing the Trinity Nova attack. But with the research, he probably found the Calyrex. Level Ball, he should be playing a Sobble Inteleon line, because the Sobble, Drizzile, Inteleon allows him to search for trainer cards. Yes. The Ice Rider League Battle deck comes with the basically just the Sobble line and Ice Riders, and it's pretty solid. This is alright, but it seems like instead of going all eggs in one basket, he is putting all his eggs in two baskets, which is okay. And I think we still have a chance if we draw a Professor's Research that lets us draw more cards, because the Zoroark gets us the Weezing back. That's okay. This card is useless now, or not really. It finds us an item card. And the item card probably be a Quick Ball, because we need a Coughing. But I don't think we have a chance, so I'm going to concede. Actually, we do have a small chance. So if I use Phantom Transformation to get the Weezing back, attach an energy, use Irida to find myself a Quick Ball, and I don't have any water Pokemon, so the Quick Ball is how it's going to be. Quick Ball gets rid of the Air Balloon, because that doesn't have any use to me right now. And I need a Coughing. The Galarian Moltres would have been a close second. So there's Coughing. Dark Patch gets Dark Energy onto the Coughing. Whoops. And Mix and Toxin, just to keep him confused. It doesn't do anything, but it does get me the energy from the discard pile onto this Weezing. And now a 50-50 chance for him to miss this attack. But the League Battle deck. This line, Sobble evolves into Drizzile. Drizzile has an ability, Shady Dealings, which lets you search for a trainer card, which is really, really good. And then its evolution, Inteleon, oh, he makes the attack. And so that, I think, is the end. He's at 3 prizes. I can still recover, but unless I get draw support, that's going to be very, very difficult. I've gone through almost half of my deck and haven't seen a Professor's Research yet. Yep, that's not happening. And so we're going to concede. We're going to first say good game, well played. And then we concede. And we move on to the next game. Not the best showing for the first game. But we can keep this going. So if we go first, going first is almost always best, unless you have a way to attack turn 1. Professor's Research, that's very good. It lets us discard these Weezing. And if we get the Zoroark, lets us get them back. Quick Ball gets rid of the Piers because we can't use it anyways. Quick Ball finds us the Radiant Greninja. Radiant Greninja finds us more cards. And we get 2 Zoroark. That was probably the most perfect draw. Oh, and I didn't even notice we're playing against another Ice Rider deck. Although this seems to be the more classic Ice Rider. Literally the League Battle deck. But I might be able to knock this thing out by turn 1 if I'm lucky. So we get a Zoroark. And another Zoroark. I would like to play the Training Court, but our opponent's deck discards energies, so it will benefit him as well. But I think it'll benefit us a little more. I'm not going to grab the energy yet, because I need to discard these 2 cards and see what I get. and that's wonderful. So I got the Galarian Weezing, which has doubles up energies. I can use the Radiant Greninja to discard a Dark Energy to find more cards, but I didn't get anything that I needed. So I will Quick Ball away this Weezing to find a Galarian Moltres. This is just for more damage. This allows me to get more energies out. Since there are 2 energies in the discard pile, one comes from this. This Zoroark turns into the Weezing that doubles energies. This Zoroark turns into the Weezing that does damage. We attach an energy, we play the experience share just in case this one gets knocked out, and we use Smog Burst. Smog Burst only does 20, 40, 60, 80 damage this turn. But we might have a chance, assuming he doesn't evolve this. Oh look, he evolves it. That's wonderful. But now he does need 2 things. He needs 1 to get a Melanie. This deck, the League Battle deck, comes with 4 of them. So the Capacious Bucket finds him 1 energy, but without the Melanie, he doesn't have another one. And this seems to be okay. I'm going to use the Radiant Greninja to discard a Dark Energy to see more cards. This finds me... Actually, Irida would have been better because she would find me an Air Balloon, but Air Balloon, I can't attach to this. So, if I think about this, this has a retreat cost of 2, and Dark Energies count for 2, so that's fine. I can just attach an energy, retreat it, and be okay. But I sort of have the problem with this Calyrex. It's going to attack me next turn if he has the energy, which he does. So I need to stall this. I'd very much like to play one of these 2 supporter cards, but I can't. I have to retreat for this Weezing, get more energy on, and I think my move is to Boss's Orders this Pokemon and try to get it and try to 2-shot it. If I can do that, it's 100 damage. If next turn I can do much more, and that's saying something. I need to do 220 damage next turn. 60, 80, 100. Plus 40 is 140. Plus 20 is 160. So that's not close yet. If I get a couple dark patches off of the research, then I have a better chance. Ah, there's the Melanie. Attaches an energy, hopefully has an energy in hand, has the energy in hand, and attacks me for 250 damage. Or just 130. He doesn't even need to attack me all the way. Alright, so this has 220 health left. My Moltres here does not do that much damage. So I have to put this up and hopefully find a way to accelerate more. If I use the concealed cards now, I can see more cards, I think. We get a Weezing, we get all the Weezings. There's one more of these in the deck. And for right now, I'm actually just trying to find all of the cards necessary. This should actually be fine. If I retreat this Galarian Weezing into the Radiant Greninja, he can only take 1 prize card. I can attach this energy to the Coughing, and get it ready for the Weezing. And the more darkness energies that I take out of the discard pile and onto my Pokemon, the better. This is assuming, of course, our opponent does not have another boss's orders. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why. So, right now he's taken 2 prize cards. If I've done my math correctly, I'm about to take 3 prize cards, ideally evening this out. Evolution Incense finds me the Weezing. We play the Weezing. We attach a Darkness Energy, we Dark Patch Dark Energy onto the Weezing. Now, I really wish we had another a Zeraora on the bench. There's only one more in the deck, and perhaps my ratios aren't that great for this. But we are getting knockout, and I believe we can stall this out long enough to knock out both of these Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAXs and take 6 prize cards. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. That's 200 damage, which is still not enough. Oh, plus the 20. I think this is enough. Nope, it's 200 damage. That's unfortunate. But Marnie is good. We're still in the same situation, essentially. Our opponent has to take 3 prize cards in the time that it's going to take us, or rather, our opponent has to knock out 3 of our Pokemon before we knock out 2 of his. And that's the goal. This stops me, sort of. Now I wonder what they're going to get. Maybe another Melanie? Cheryl. Cheryl is an interesting card. A Dark Patch, an Air Balloon, and a Coughing. None of these are particularly useful to me. However, I might be able to stall this long enough, because I am getting 3 prize cards. And none of them were ways to find more Zeraora. Oh, it's an Inteleon, this one. So I wonder what they're going to find. Probably a Melanie. Melanie is probably the best card to find. A Level Ball and a Pal Pad. Lucky Ice Pop. Heals. Gets them back the Melanie and the boss's orders. They attach an energy, they attack me with Max Lance, or they find the Drizzile. They can't evolve this turn, because they played the Scoop Up Net. Oh, they can. Scoop Up Net was last turn. And now I wonder... This has no retreat cost, so bossing this up is not the greatest idea. But I am curious. He does have to take 2 more prize cards to win. Dark Patch gets an energy onto this Coughing. This is an energy onto the Coughing. I'm going to evolve this because I have free retreat costs. Get a training court out to get rid of the Path to the Peak. Research gets me 7 more cards, which I find a Zorua. And there's one more Zoroark in the deck. Now the only issue I have is I think I'll be able to attack and knock this out to deal 260 damage. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Evolution Incense. There is a Zoroark, there is a Galarian Weezing. And I do need both. So I'm going to find the Galarian Weezing to evolve this once I can. This will get me the Zoroark. And I think I can sacrifice this. And that is the plan. I think I might be able to pull this off if I attack him for 50 now. Unless he has a boss's orders in his hand and can get this Moltres up. Which, I mean, he probably does, yes. He has the Drizzile and the Inteleon. I think I would have been able to win if he didn't have that. But, of course, he had that because he has an engine which draws him so many trainer cards. Let me think about this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I would have been able to do 180, 200 damage the next turn. But still, not good enough. But that's kind of just shows you, or rather is a great example of tempo. I was able to let him knock out some of my Pokemon. But I wasn't able to get my board online fast enough to make it so it didn't matter. We were just one turn away from each other. And that was mostly because I think I misplayed a couple times, or just possibly I built my deck poorly. And so the opponent's going first. We don't know what they're playing. We start with Galarian Moltres, which is not good. And we have no way to get more cards. And they're playing a Reggie deck. So, in the face of adversity, actually I wonder if I now don't think they're playing a Reggie deck. Pass the turn because we have nothing else we can do. We could have played the Evolution Incense to thin the deck, but at the same time, I don't see a reason to tell our opponent what we're doing. Oh, that's interesting. They're playing basic electric Pokemon, powering them with Zapdos. The problem is, this Zapdos doesn't work with this Regieleki. Oh, that's not nearly as good as I wanted it to be. Play that energy, we pass the turn. If he gets the energy, and a way to and let's say a switch, or an escape rope, he'll be able to play an energy onto the Raichu, retreat this, and then attack me, only for 180 damage actually. I keep drawing dark energies. Well, we'll see. We at least take the first prize card. And we get a training court, which gets the Galarian out of the way. I'm confused with what our opponent is doing. Oh, the poison. Because if it was the coin flip off of the Quillfish, I was thinking that was the wrong stadium for that, but they want to trap and poison me. I'm kind of okay with that. That's really unfortunate. So we're going to get rid of the Galarian. We're going to attach an energy to Galarian Moltres. This is going to survive. I think. So takes 50 when I pass turn to 130. And then we'll take another 50. Going to 180. I hit myself for 30, so it's 210. I still live. But Raichu's going to hit me. So I still have to do it. Because I need a prize card. And now we're essentially tied up. He's going to take 2 prize cards. I'm going to take 2 prize cards. And there's not a lot that can be done in this situation. He will hit me for 70 damage. But I wonder how sustainable his deck is. Because we sort of... Oh, that's so much better, the Evolution Incense. So if we Dark Patch, we have to use it because it's going to be discarded. We attach an energy to Moltres. We use the Dire Flame Wings to get energy onto Moltres. We use Evolution Incense so we can find us another Weezing. This Weezing, so we can discard it. This makes the Zoroark more effective because there are more in the deck. I kind of like that. If we Quick Ball away the Quick Ball, I find the Zeraora. I'll get this back to hand just for the fun of it, so I have it for next turn. And Aura Burn will do 190 damage. 30 to myself, and he was going to hit me for 190. If he has the energy in hand, which he likely does. But he has to discard all of his energies to do it. And I think I have a plan. If his plan is to poison my Pokemon, then hitting him with Zoroark and then using the Phantom transformation means that poison goes away. Or even better, I could just hit him with the Zorua. 10 damage. He tries to poison me, I can evolve. It's not really a problem, the poison. Let's play the Zorua. We find a Coughing. We're going to Dark Patch and Energy onto the Coughing. Evolve this. Actually, this is the Neutralizing Gas Weezing. We don't necessarily need this one compared to the others. And so, put an Air Balloon on one. Attach a Dark Energy to Zorua. We're going to save the research because we still need to evolve. We're going to be a little tricky with our turn right now. We're going to hit him for 10 damage and take 2 prize cards. But then, he's going to poison us for 50. It's not going to knock us out, so we're going to evolve. Get rid of the poison. And get ourselves a Weezing. And I think we have a chance. Because we're still tied here. 2 prizes, 2 prizes, even though he did knock out 2 of my Vs. And I only knocked out 1 of his Vs, 1 of his, and 2 of his basic Pokemon. He finds the Raichu. Now here's the problem with what he's doing. I think I've out-tempoed him. Find the Dark Energy. The poison is not a problem anymore because we are going to evolve the Zoroark and get the Weezing. This Weezing in particular. Problem is we have to discard all the energies. Attach. Evolve. attach evolve and research. Research hopefully finds us the last Weezing that we need. It does. And now our attacks 60, 100, 140 damage. Play the Zorua just for the setup on next turn. Play the Radiant Greninja because we need to see more cards. Always need to see more cards unless we're running out of cards. Dark Patch onto this Weezing. And we have 2 Zoroark left in the deck, so we're going to take advantage of that. And then we're going to hit him. 180 damage. And at best, next turn, he knocks out one of our Pokemon. And then we just hit him back for the same amount of damage, or for 200 damage. It doesn't matter what we have, or what we hit. We still win. Because tempo. Bosses orders up the Greninja. We have the energy to retreat it. And so we say, well played. So we Marnie's Pride to attach an energy from the discard pile. So we know we're doing 200 damage. Or 220 damage in that case. Now those games were kind of rough, but the whole point, focus. What is possible whenever we focus on one particular strategy, and what happens when we keep our tempo? If we can out-tempo our opponent, even with a single prize deck, we can win. Because it's just about keeping ahead, taking more prize cards than your opponent does, at a faster rate than your opponent does. And that's it. So you all have a good day, and have good games.